Oh wait, hang on a second, I've lost my bearings. Oh, there they are. Hi! Did you miss me yesterday? See, what happened is something arrived in the mail, a new toy, and I have fiddled around with it a little bit. Then I came out here and started shooting a video, and then I realized a problem. See, the new toy I got was my new camera. You're watching me on it right now. I got a Panasonic Lumix G85, and I thought I could just come right out here, stick it in auto mode, not learn many of the settings yet, and just start recording the video. But then I took the clip inside the house to see what it looked like. And my God, I butchered all of the settings. I had it on auto mode, so it quite naturally, latched onto my black shirt and then wildly overexposed everything else. And my microphone gain was set way too high. I had to spend the rest of the day learning about the camera, reading the manual, watching a very detailed tutorial about it online, and fiddling with the settings, coming out to the shop, playing around with settings, going back and seeing it on my computer, etc., etc. So that's why there was no video yesterday. I was playing with my new camera. So thank you, patrons. I got a new camera. I finally upgraded from my old camcorder that I bought in 2015. It was time for an upgrade. And I swear the quality on that old thing was upscaled 480p or something. It was just way blockier than HD 1080p video should have been. This new one, great. It can also shoot in 4K, and just for funsies, I'm shooting this video at 60 frames per second. For no particular reason other than I can, and I tried it yesterday, and my editor handled it just fine. I would shoot today's video in 4K, but I haven't tried that out in the editor yet, so that might make editing tonight a little bit painful. Not aware I'll have to play with it in the future. Anyway, other AV news. I ordered a new tripod, because the current tripod that I have, the camera's sitting on right now, is a flimsy pile of garbage. So hopefully the new one is less of a flimsy pile of garbage. And I have more AV news, because it's full AV upgrade time here at Aging Wheels Underdone Studios. Aging Media. Anyway, the next upgrade I'm going to do, and I already ordered it, is I ordered a new microphone. Yes, I did. I ordered the Rode Link Go setup. If the sound quality is on par or better than this current system, I will keep it. If it is any worse at all, I will be returning it, because it's fairly expensive. It was $200. Again, thank you, patrons, for allowing these upgrades to happen. In other news, not really AV related, but also AV related, you are currently watching the last daily video. Yes, that's true. I know this will make a lot of you sad. It actually kind of makes me sad, but this was only intended to be a short-term series. I'm going to stop fiddling with these bearings now. This was only intended to be a short-term series. In fact, it's lasted about twice as long than I originally intended. I expected this to last 1 or 2 weeks, and here we are at a month. This is day 20. I may have skipped a day, but this is day 20. I will bring back the daily video stint at some point in the future. Maybe I'll make it a yearly thing. Maybe I'll make it a bi-yearly thing. Maybe around the holidays I'll do another daily video stint for a couple of weeks. But as I mentioned in a past daily video, my plan from here on out, theoretically, is to have 2 videos a week. I'm going to be taking next week off, by the way. Is to have 2 videos a week. One is a high-effort video, be it a project video, a scripted video talking about something, whatever it is. And then one video that's very casual, shot in the span of a day. And these casual video series are for fan connection and a more natural look at me, I guess. And the other videos are to reel people in and to give my creativity an outlet, because I really like the high productivity videos. They're very satisfying for me to make. High productivity, high effort videos. They're very satisfying for me to make. So that's the plan for the future, and yes, this is the last daily video. It's been a blast hanging out with you during this quarantine times, but it's time for this to end. Oh, and the next video I do will be about the Nissan Figaro. It'll be a scripted video, and you'll finally get to find out about that Nissan Figaro that's sitting in the corner of my shop, what it's doing there, and just about the Nissan Figaro in general. So, what's next? What are we going to do today? Let's hear from our living room correspondent, Micah. What do you have to say, Micah? Okay, she didn't have much to say, but she's adorable, so it doesn't matter. Let's go over to the bus panels. Let's talk about dust collection and dust separation. If you're not familiar with the world of woodworking, and even if you are, you may not be familiar with what this is. This is just a little cart that I've set my shop vac and a bucket on, and this is a cyclonic dust separator. The idea of this is the shop vac sucks in from here, and your input hose, where you suck stuff up with, comes in through here, and all the dirt and air and everything you suck up spins through here. The dirt gets collected in this bucket. The dirt and the dust and everything you suck up gets collected in this bucket, and theoretically only air gets out of this hose and into the shop vac. Realistically, it only separates about 95-99% of the dust, but it's most of it. And the idea of this is that you're not plugging up your shop vac filter basically at all, because there's nothing that plugs up a shop vac filter faster than fine sawdust, or in this case, fine Bondo dust, which is why we're talking about this. I want to talk to you about my sanders. I have 2 random orbit sanders, because I'm fancy. This one's nothing special. I just bought it from Menards a couple days ago. It's the Masterforce in-house Menards brand of random orbit sander. It has the standard 8 dust collection holes on the bottom for sucking the dust through, and I hooked my shop vac up to that because it comes with a shop vac adapter. Again, nothing special, but this one I like. It is a new approach on a random orbit sander. I heard about this from another YouTuber, and this isn't sponsored or anything. I know this may sound like an ad, but I'm just excited about this stuff, and I want to show it to you. There will be Amazon affiliate links down in the description, but this isn't sponsored. This is a Rockwell sander, and they call it their Vibra-Free thing. I think that's a bunch of bunk. This real special thing about this is the way the sanding discs are oriented on the bottom. You can see it's not your standard random orbit disc sander on the bottom. It's 2 concentric discs. The outer ring spins and the inner ring does the random orbity thing. And in between those is a big gaping hole, for dust collection, which is the real thing I like about this. When you have it hooked up to a shop vac with the included shop vac adapter, it just sucks up all the dust that it creates. It even sucks itself to the work surface pretty well, which actually is a little bit annoying. But other than that, I like it. It's a new approach to an old thing, and it has me very intrigued. It was slightly more expensive, but anyway, the main problem with this, and you may have spotted this already, is that it doesn't take standard random orbit sander discs like this one does. You have to either buy the sanding discs especially for this sander from Rockwell, which I've been doing, or you can cut standard random orbit so you can cut down standard sander discs to size to fit this machine. But like I said, I've just been buying the standard ones, the ones made for this thing from Rockwell. And I'm using this one for my coarse grit duty because that creates more sanding dust. And I'm using this second sander that I just bought for the finer grit stuff. Also, the sanding discs that come with this are actually very hard to peel off of the sander. So it's helpful to not have to change out sanding grits very often. Another special thing about these sanders, if you don't want to hook them up to a shop vac, or you don't have a shop vac to hook up to them, whatever the case may be, I have the shop vac adapter on both of these, but they both come with the same built-in dust collection if you don't want to use that adapter, and it's this. Most sanders have a filter bag, kind of like this one that I got off my biscuit joiner, and it's just a piece of fabric that dust sits in. It doesn't work very well. It never does with these random orbit sanders, but this is what both of these sanders come with. And it has no filter whatsoever. It's 2 tiny little dust separator cyclones. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. It fits on the back of them like so, and it actually collects a lot of dust. And because it's clear, you can see the dust going through it. It's awesome. There's no filter to plug up at all, and it just collects dust. And when you want to dump it out, you face it towards you where it looks like a face, and you press on the nose of the face and just pops out. It's phenomenal. It's not as good as hooking up a shop vac to it, but it's just a really good built-in dust collector for a random orbit sander. And like I said, it works very well. And I suspect, because this is Menards house brand, that these 2 different sanders are made in the same factory, because they both have the exact same built-in dust collector bin, down to the branding and everything. It says CDS on here, Cyclonic Dust Air Separator. Both of these sanders came with this exact same bin and the exact same hookup to it. So That's why I got this one from Menards, because it has the same bin. So let's move this panel into the wood shop, put it on my little granite work table, my big granite work table, so that, I don't know, I have a better surface to work on, because I'm a little worried about getting dust and everything in this main shop, but I'll contain it in the wood shop. I'm talking an awful lot today. I wonder if it has anything to do with the Red Bull I had before I came out here. Surely it has nothing to do with that. Let's move these panels. It's almost like this is a big heavy sheet of steel. Oh boy. The wood shop seemed like a good place to work on these panels because it's a smaller room with a bunch of contained. What do I mean by that? It's a smaller room and all the dust will be contained to this small room and not be floating around in the room full of all the cars. Also, I'm going to be spray painting on this panel, so it'd be nice not to have overspray on all the cars that are in the main shop. So that's why we're working in here. Let's take off this side indicator here. This will just get in my way while I'm working on the panel. I might replace this later with something different, but that's for later. There we snip. I said snip. There we go. I don't need that. Little rubber grommet there can stay. While we're at it, let's take off this Thomas Built logo. I bet our butter knife is not going to do the job here. Maybe it will. By the way, I just happened to luck into this, but if you're planning to buy a school bus and do anywhere near the modifications that I'm doing, you should get a Thomas Built bus. The reason for that is Bluebird and International buses are held together with rivets on the side. Thomas Built buses are held in with screws. So it's much easier to disassemble if you want to do such a thing. If you plan to keep the sides intact, then it doesn't really matter much, but something to consider if you're planning on buying a school bus. I don't know why Thomas Built uses screws instead of rivets, but I'm happy they do. Hey! All right, I also have to take off these reflective strips on the side. I clearly Bondoed over some of them because I was just trying out the Bondo, but now it's time to remove them with the heat gun and some scrapey. Man, look at all this riveting content you're going to be missing out on when I end the daily video thing. Riveting. All right, my Bondo test areas are now sanded smooth. Let's do something else now. By the way, if the image quality ever looks off in some way, shape, or form, it's because I'm still getting used to this camera. I spent all day playing with it yesterday and learning about it, but there's lots of knobs and buttons and programs and doodads and whatchamacallits to learn about and get used to, and I'm still getting used to the camera, so that's my blanket excuse for any image quality problems that you may be experiencing while watching this video. Maybe I'm out of focus right now. I don't know. I have it set to autofocus continuous. Yes. Basically, I have the autofocus turned on. Anyway, let's get to filling some of these screw holes with weld. And since I'm not in a delicate sort of mood, I'm just going to go with the gob the screw holes full of weld approach for right now. I'll do the practicing with the hole punch method later, but right now I'm just going to gob these holes full of weld. Let's begin. Oh, and by the way, yes, I am welding in my wood shop, but I very recently cleaned in here, so there's nary sawdust. That doesn't make any sense. There's not much sawdust on the floor, so don't worry about that. My back, you're looking at my back. Now I'm done filling screw holes. Well, that's all I've got time for today, so that's it for today, and that's it for this daily series. Thank you all for joining me on this whole daily series adventure. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of laughs. It's certainly been interesting, but now the excitement, the enjoyment that I was getting out of it is starting to wane, so it's time to quit while I'm ahead. This was only supposed to be a short-term series anyway. And thank you to everyone who has supported me along the way. Not just monetarily either. Patrons are obviously a huge help. I'm very indebted to my patrons, but also anyone that watches these videos. Even if you skip all the ads, it doesn't matter. If you watch these videos, you're supporting me because you're giving me an audience and you're giving me a reason to do this. Without my audience, without people to entertain, I'm just a crazy man talking to himself in his shop. Maybe I'm that anyway. But anyway, thank you all for supporting me. It's been fun. And I'm going to continue to stick around. It sounds like I'm leaving forever. No, I'm just changing how I do videos. It's not going to be daily for a while. This daily video series might come back in the future. Hopefully it does, because it's fun in short stints. But anyway, stay safe, stay happy, stay occupied, keep check of your mental health, and I'll see you in the next video. Maybe it'll be a week from now. Maybe it'll be 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I'm going to try to take it easy. See you next time.